Hey y'all, Jamie, that's me here. Listen, I'm back. We got to talk about Wendy Osefo, Dr. Wendy Osefo of Real Housewives of Potomac. Okay, real quick, I want to get this image of her up here and on the screen. Let me see. All right, y'all, listen. Wendy, unfortunately, she and her husband, Eddie Osefo, were caught up in, I'm going to say, a scandal, child. All right, caught up in the scandal. They both were arrested on last week due to fraud charges as it relates to different insurance companies where they may have filed multiple claims for multiple items that were likely returned, items that they had the entire time, as they claimed, according to the police, that their home was burglarized while they were away on vacation in Jamaica, only for the cops to come through, do a full walkthrough of everything. Didn't seem to see anything out of place. There was no ring camera, according to the officers, that showed forced entry or anything. They only saw packages delivered once they even went out of the house, and came back into the house. I believe it was through a window or something in the bathroom. They ended up tracking in whatever the roof toppings are into the house or something like that. Whatever it was, they did not find where a burglary took place at the Osefo home. Okay. They continued to do further investigation, especially with these insurance companies, considering the fact that they filed multiple claims with the insurance companies. And from there, they ended up learning some things that led them to believe that Dr. Wendy and her husband, Eddie Osefo, may have committed some type of fraud. All right. They ended up receiving over $400,000. I believe it's close to 500. Yeah, close to $500,000 from these insurance companies. At least that's what's being alleged by the sheriff's department. And they ended up arresting them on fraud charges. And between the both of them, they ended up with over 30,000 charges, with Eddie having more charges than Wendy. Okay. More details are still to come out. All right. It's been plenty of times where Wendy says on the show she let Eddie handle everything. So I wonder if Eddie gonna take all the charges for his wife. We shall see. Okay. But what I wanted to come to you guys to talk about was the fact that I did not know that Dr. Wendy ended up going back into the classroom. All right. You know that she was a professor at once upon a time over at John Hopkins. And so she decided to part ways from that, which was about a year or so ago, where she said she was so tired. She didn't want to be a professor anymore. She didn't want to do it. And then now we're finding out, at least I'm just now finding out, that she is indeed a professor again. But this wasn't something that was quiet, because she did do different interviews or whatnot, pretty much or at least putting out press releases letting people know that she is now a professor again. Now I had to go back into the archive where I was able to find out where Bravo talks about this, where they said Wendy Osefo sheds new light on her decision to become a professor again. So she does talk about that. She says that she is still teaching at Wesleyan, I think that's how you say it, in Connecticut, where she is a distinguished professor. So that's super exciting for her, and she's looking forward to it. She says, this is my second year there, and I'm teaching about reality TV and its impacts on society. My students love it, and I'm so geared up for that. All right. So that is what Dr. Wendy ended up saying over there on Bravo. Right now, she also there was a piece on her with the Black Enterprise, where they talked about her being professor at Wesleyan University. Now the reason we're talking about this is due to the charges that Wendy has received, she and her husband. It appears that they have put her professorship or whatnot over at the university on pause, unfortunately. Okay, it appears that the first one she made by choice when she decided to part ways with John Hopkins, and then now you have a situation where the school appears to have likely approached her, to put her classes on pause, or at least reassign them to another professor at this time. I mean, maybe that could be something that she requested. Who knows, right? Because she has so much that she has to deal with. But we're gonna get into a article, right? We're going to get into an article. Another thing that I did want to highlight before we get into there, this was another thing for me that confirmed once I went over to the university, Wesleyan. This shows where she indeed was a professor over at this university, a professor of sociology. Okay. So this gives you more details about Wendy. She had one class, the sociology of reality TV, which she likely pitched to the university. I wouldn't be surprised, in an effort to continue, in an effort to have some type of work with them. And so yeah, so we got this here. And just wanted to confirm that. Another thing that I wanted us to go back and get into is a article that I want to read here, where they kind of go into detail about Wendy's particular situation here. All right. So what they're letting us know is on Thursday, and the article is Wesleyan Argus. I think that's how you say it. And they're letting us know on Thursday, October 9th, distinguished visiting professor of sociology Wendy Osefo was arrested in Maryland on 16 counts of fraud. Osefo, who was arrested with her husband, is also a cast member of the Real Housewives of Potomac. They're saying Osefo, who joined the university in fall of 2024, is currently affiliated with the Center of Study of Public Life. Right? They're saying that she was teaching a class this semester, the sociology of reality TV, race, colorism, and xenophobia, and was on campus to teach that class on Wednesday, October 8th, the day before her arrest. All right. They're saying a Maryland grand jury indicted Osefo on 7 counts of felony insurance fraud, 8 counts of misdemeanor conspiracy insurance fraud, and 1 misdemeanor count of false statement to an officer. She was released on $50,000 bond the day after her arrest, according to public Maryland judiciary case records. Now they're going on to say the charges stemmed from a home burglary that Osefo and her husband reported back in April of 2024. The Osefos claimed roughly $500,000 in insurance connected to the incident, which was widely reported at the time. But then the news broke the robbery had been rigged and the items had resurfaced. On April 27, 2024, they're saying Osefo posted it on Instagram, a photo of a gold diamond anniversary ring reportedly stolen. They said a search and seizure warrant of the Osefos' home executed along with their arrest turned up at least 15 items they had previously claimed stolen. Additionally, police found that roughly $20,000 worth of items that the Osefos had reported stolen had actually been returned to stores far earlier, including a $1,450 Dior shirt returned in 2023 and a Gucci wallet that was returned in 2018. Now, the indictment alleged that Osefo's husband had emailed her requesting that she add high-end items to their insurance inventory list to maximize their payout. Now, Wendy Osefo did not respond to a request for comment by the Argus on her arrest charges. Osefo is best known as a main cast member of Real Housewives of Potomac. All right. They go on where let's see, there is more. I want to kind of go down. Okay, so they're saying there is an email from the Al Britton, I hope I said that correctly, the Al Britton Center director Kalila Brown Dean. She sent to students in Osefo's class. All right, this is coming from Wesleyan, the Wesleyan Argus. All right. They're saying that the director of her department sent an email to the students in Osefo's class explaining that Associate Professor of Sociology Courtney Patterson Fay would take over teaching the class for the remainder of the season. Neither the university nor Brown Dean responded to a request by the Argus for a comment on Osefo's arrest. Students in Osefo's class were surprised at the news of her arrest. Okay, I guess this is one of them saying, I was literally writing her an email that morning. I found out asking her about an assignment that was supposed to be due this week. I just finished grabbing lunch at US Dane or Us Dane, and I ran into one of my classmates, and he was just like, yo, did you see the news? And I was like, what news? And he said, our professor got arrested. I was like, what are you talking about? Because I just met her last week. And then he showed me an Instagram post saying she and her husband got arrested for fraud. I couldn't believe it. All right. So these are what the students are saying. Okay. I believe this is an assistant. It looks like they said that a teacher assistant says it was a shock having taken her class last fall. I didn't expect, oh no, I'm sorry. This is someone else saying that it was a shock having taken her class. I didn't expect it. They go on to say, I hope she's well, and we'll find out more once more news come out. All right. So a lot of the students have been reacting to this news of Wendy and her husband being arrested. All right. It appears that, I mean, I don't know if she's even going to have much more of a career as a professor over here at Wesleyan if they have already decided to replace her class with another professor. Now, granted, if she happens to be found not guilty or these charges could be dismissed at a later time, maybe, very unfortunate situation. Hate this for their family, because if there are any other brand deals that they are connected to at this time, they might end up going away. as people try to sever ties and disconnect themselves from the Osefos at this time. So it's like so sad. Like it's just I just cannot. I'm still shocked, y'all. I'm still shocked days later that this currently is the life of Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie Osefo, and how their life has been flipped upside down along with the children's lives. Okay. They did say the cameras are up and running, so hopefully we get a chance to see. I don't know if it's something we'll see this season. Maybe it's something next season, but the story seems to be a bit too hot, too much talked about for them to not capitalize on it this season, but not sure, as they probably already edited everything, right? But I'm sure we'll find out more details at a later time. But you guys can leave your thoughts and comments down below. This is the first one to part ways. And really, Wendy was supposed to be a part of a wife swap, the Real Housewives edition. And the first episode, I believe, was supposed to be with her in it. Well, they snatched that episode and kind of pushed the show back. So we don't know if we're going to see her episode or not. And following that, now we see that the position she had as professor has now been snatched and given to someone else. And she was fully prepared and ready to do this class, as the students said that they had just met with her on campus the day before she got arrested. Ooh, y'all. My stomach doing knots for Dr. Wendy, okay? Not knowing who else finna try and part ways with you, or how else your life is about to change after this situation, right? But again, these are all allegations at this time, innocent until proven guilty. But a lot of jobs and brands don't care about that. They'll go ahead and separate ties with you from the beginning. So good luck. All right, to the Osefos. You guys leave your thoughts and comments down below about everything we got into on today. Of course, I am Jamie. That's me. Be sure to like up the video. Be sure to hype up the video. And also be sure to subscribe to the channel. All right, that's all I got. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.
Tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters. I'm silent. Nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification. Them numbers hit like it's a praxis. Cashed out at the ATM and the ATL. They done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF. Got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up. I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man? They say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film. I can feel the pool.